Well, thank you so much for letting me come. I think this is a wonderful format. All of the other candidate forums that we've had, we really just present and you really don't get to know us. And I think with this format, you get to ask us questions and you really get, hopefully, some great answers. I forgot everything at home, and so believe me, this is not going to be a polished presentation for my presentation because I left my briefcase at home. So I'm just going to start and wing it. Okay. I'm a retired assistant principal from the Sulphur Springs School District, and I was at Sulphur Springs, Mitchell, Canyon Springs, and Leona Cox for my 17-year career. I was an assistant principal there. I absolutely loved my job. I loved everything I did. I loved working with the kids. I was a teacher. I was a counselor. And now I've become a special ed advocate. I also am a senior citizen and just a regular citizen advocate for denied medical claims. My husband is ill, and I've learned a lot from that. So I have helped a lot of people when their medical claims are denied. As I said, I've lived here 22 years. Worked in Canyon Country for 18 years. I've been married to the same man almost my whole life. I have children and grandchildren that live and work here in Santa Clarita. Most of their teachers, and one works at COC. I have a master's degree from University of Laverne, and my thesis was in strategic planning. I have a bachelor's from Master's College here in the city. So I certainly have the education. My main priority, and I don't know if you read the signal, is I really didn't see the senior center until I got involved in this. And that is my main priority, to really work and do something for that senior center, get the people involved. There are many other priorities. I want to seek to improve traffic control. I want crossing guards in this city. The city puts out $54,000 for crossing guards. The schools don't pay for it, the city does. For 18 years, I tried to get crossing guards at my schools, and I never could. That's a goal I want. I want them to do that. I want them to provide safety for the kids. I want to increase the sheriff. I'm going to have 30 seconds left. Sheriff's contract for public safety, and I want them to negotiate that so that we have some. We can work with them and have additional patrols, and we have a great sheriff, but I think we can do more. So I think I have 17 seconds. Let's see, what else can I say? Like I said, I'm winging this. I'm looking forward to your questions.
Okay, questions.
Hi, Ken Chase, Newhall. Hi, Sandra.
Hi.
Hi. What is your position on the billboard issue?
Well, that's a really controversial issue. I've been very vocal about the fact that I think it's against small business. I want the city to be beautified. Of course I do. But I am very much against the digital billboards. I just think that when you have a survey and it's 9-1 that the people don't want these, and you're going to have them anyway because you think that it's better, I think that that is wrong. I think that the city council... I think the city council... We're
cutting into the time, people.
needs to listen to the people. I think and one of the things I'm going to say in my closing, I think it needs to be done in a respectful manner. I have been to the city council meetings. I have spoke how I feel about it, and I felt demeaned. I felt hushed, and I felt like the people did not have their voice, and I felt they were threatened to be sent out of the council, and we had recesses, and I didn't think there was any control or respect.
Next question.
Hey, Sandra. Wendy Albright, Valencia. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
So in your best no bull statement, do you believe a council member should mislead the citizens either by word or action?
Well, that's what I just said. I said, I want to be an elected official of this city because I think that we should respect the opinions and the views of the people. And I think that when you have time after time again, and I've watched the past city council, when a few people think that they know what you want and they vote for what you don't want, I think it's wrong. I think they need to listen to the people,
Okay. Let's refrain, please.
and I think they need to listen to the people, and I think they need to show respect. And that's what I showed to all of my parents, even though when they disagreed with me, we worked it out. I said, what can we do to solve this problem? Not just shove it down my throat, or their throat.
Thank you, Sandra, for actually answering the question.
Sure.
Cher Gilmore, Newhall. How do you feel about the continued development of this area given the lack of water resources that we are projected to have in the future?
Well, I think that no community should be overdeveloped. I think that, yes, I do understand why they want to put more homes here because it's a very profitable thing. But I think they need to consider that the water that we have, the traffic congestions, we want to keep the beautiful city we have. We just want to give profit to developers.
Hello, my name is Raul Jimenez from Cayenne Country, and I'd like to know how you keep rid of people that sell drugs, because we've been fighting those people for 5 years, and nothing happens. They're still in business.
I totally sympathize with you. I worked in the schools, and I had drugs and gangs with my 5th and 6th graders that were already in gangs, because I worked at Canyon Springs, Lehman Cox, and here in this city. That's why I want to expand the sheriff's contract. I think the sheriffs, if we gave them, we have as they were said, we had an 8% reserve. Now we have a 17 to 18% reserve. Now we want a 20% reserve. I had a 4% reserve when I was in a school, and the Silver Springs School District had a 4% reserve. We were thrilled. Okay, so what if we have a 17, 18, 20% reserve? If 8% we had enough for emergencies, who are we eliminating here? Who are we eliminating with saving all this money? I know we're eliminating the senior citizens. I know we're eliminating the arts. Let's give the sheriffs more contract. Let's make this a safe city. I mean, that's what I feel. I mean, yes, we have the money. Let's spend it where we need to spend it.
Hi, Carol Scher from Canyon Country. The city has in the process of finding homeowners for their property that doesn't live up to the city code. A lot of these are senior citizens. How are they going to pay for this? In light of we have the drought and everything else, they want to put new grass in. Who's going to pay for that? Is the city going to help pay for these senior citizens to get the property up to code?
Well, this is how I feel about that. I think, of course, we want the city, and we want to be beautiful, and we want our neighborhoods to be beautiful. But I think that we could, just like the senior center and many other things, we could get business involved, we could get partnerships, we could definitely help our senior citizens. I mean, I'm a senior citizen. I have to live up to the codes. But I think there's ways the city can promote to help these people, not just slam them. So I think there's ways that we can work in that. There's a lot of people here that are willing to do a lot. And the problem is we're not really working to provide that to people. We're not working with these people to say, you know, I really want to get together and have this partnership, and let's solve this problem with the code violations that we can't have along. Let's solve these problems. That's what I always did in the schools.
Hi, Lori Rivas. Will you briefly describe your understanding of the library issue and describe what is your vision for our library system?
For your library system? Is that what you said? Well, I have to tell you quite frankly, I don't know all the ins and outs of the library system, but I would think that I would totally support it. In education, I mean, the library is really, really important. I mean, who we have on the board directly affects it, so I think that should be a concern. I can't tell you that I know all the ins and outs of it because that's one thing that I really didn't bone up on, but I would support whatever would be best for the people and what they want. And our library is really important. All of our libraries are important.
Question? I don't see the chair occupied.
Cher Gilmore, Newhall. Would you be in favor of banning fracking and acidizing of wells in Santa Clarita?
Absolutely. I think
you.
that, I mean, if you aren't against it, I mean, I think you have to be crazy.
Hi, I'm Steve from Saugus, and I was wondering whether, in regards to the seniors and the youth, it seems like we have a lot of resources that aren't municipally related, like the churches here in Santa Clarita that have wonderful youth programs available, whether it be Young Life or Awanas. Is there anything that you could see that the city could do to work with the churches and the synagogues in the community to help promote the programs that they have available to support the seniors and youth of the community?
Well, I think as far as the senior centers go, and I had an article in the Signal that I really, I hope I win this election. But even if I don't win this election, that's going to be my mission, to make sure we do something for that senior center. Because I'm sorry, it's underfunded. It's actually, it hasn't been updated in so long. I feel sorry for those seniors. There's no parking. They go there, they want to park, and they can't even go because they have to park 2 blocks away. We need to improve that senior center. As far as the youth goes, we do have the Boys and Girls Club. We need to really, really work with our youth. We need to educate them. I want to restore the STAR program. I know at the City Council I mentioned that, which is a 5th and 6th grade education on drugs and tobacco. They discontinued it, and they said this other thing they have is wonderful. They have 1,600 people in it, but they don't have 5th and 6th graders. They don't come to the school and let them see a sheriff and have them be their friend. So I want to restore that. I think as far as the churches and all the youth programs, I think it's pretty hard. I think you do have that tricky thing with separation of church and state. So, but I mean, you could certainly let people know that it's available. I really, really, really want to work for the seniors, and of course, I want to work for the youth.
Carol Sherwood from Canyon Country. Would you be in favor of changing the rules so they vote for a mayor and council instead of rotating among themselves?
I think it's quite a question. I think that the way it is now, where they rotate the mayor is just a figurehead without any power. I think that if the people wanted a mayor, and I think it should be put on the ballot and say we want a mayor that actually is more than just a figurehead, just a mayor and a mayor pro tem that's just we rotate, I think that would be a good thing. But I think I would ask the people, and I certainly would, if the Signal wanted to have a survey and found out, I think I would listen to what they said, and I would listen at the city council meeting. Do you want a mayor? Do you want rotation? What do you want? Let's put it on the ballot and listen to the people.
Questions?
I still have 8 minutes, guys. You
I
must
know.
have something to ask me.
Somebody has a question out there. I hope.
Okay, great.
Carol Sherwood from Canyon Country. Would you believe in term limits so you can only be on the council, say, for 2 terms and not forever?
Well, that's a real controversial issue. There's pros and cons for that. I think in some ways, I think term limits are good because you don't have the same things over and over and over and over again. But then again, you have to realize that sometimes you have some really, really good people and you lose them because of term limits. So it's a pro and con. Sometimes you want to get rid of people and you don't want them in for more than 8 years. Other times you think, oh gosh, I really don't want to lose that person because he's great. So that's another thing that you would have to think about, the pros and cons of it. So personally, I believe in term limits, personally. But it's not always great. There's pros and cons.
Okay. Question? Good.
I'm Joan Dunn from Canyon Country. I have some questions in my mind about, first of all, I've been very involved in water, and I'm just wondering, we have complained about gardeners taking care of the water, and the owners are not telling them, hey, cut back because they want beautiful lawns. How do you feel about that? How should we approach this problem so that they will conserve and the gardeners won't be watering the streets and everything else?
Well, I think if you look at your water bill, it tells you every month how much you've consumed and how much you are allowed. And if those people that are using it, they're going to be eventually, when we're in this drought, and eventually we're going to have to, that we find these people that waste water. I have, we've all tried to cut back. We're not watering every day. We're not watering as long. I shouldn't say we all. We should be doing this. But for those that have no regard for water and the fact that it's so precious, I think that they will eventually, with all the water companies, and that's what the proposal is, that they're eventually going to fine them or charge them an exorbitant amount for it. I think that there should be we should have someone that could enforce that and, write them up when their water's running down the street. And I think that's the thing that needs to be considered.
Anybody else? Good.
With the proposed settlement with Edwards Outdoor Advertising, do you think it's appropriate for the city to use tax dollars to buy out a private company to close it down?
Well, I don't think the city should be buying out or closing down a company. I think the city should be able to have that company function. I think that the city should be able to work with that company so that they're not going to go out of business and not have to buy them out. I know the beautification of the city, but I kind of like the signs in a way because, I remember that, what is it, Burma Shave, and we kept seeing the Burma Shave and it kept going. I guess I'm the old school. But, I don't have a problem.
Okay, folks. Let her answer the question.
I agree with you. I am the senior citizen here for sure. You can tell, but I don't have a problem. I heard one of the ladies told me that she said, if I wasn't for that sign, people wouldn't even know where I am. And to me, honestly, if it's going to help the small business, they're not that offensive to me. They're really not. So I don't think that we should be. 9 to 1. I don't think we should be doing it at all.
Good. We got one.
Sandra, how would you deal with neighborhoods that have cut-through traffic?
I'm sorry, say that again.
How would you deal with neighborhoods that have cut-through traffic?
Cut through traffic?
Yeah, people that go on all the side streets and everything like that to get around the busy intersections.
Oh.
You mean that instead of, so that you have a street that was a neighborhood street, now it's become a thoroughfare?
A thoroughfare,
Is that what you
yes.
mean? Okay. I think that in Valencia, where I live, we had that problem, and the homeowners put in some speed bumps. And I think if that's what have to be done, I mean, of course, you'd have to have a vote on it with the people and decide just how far do you want to go. But if that's what you had to do and you had to put some speed bumps in, I know in Old Orchard we have speed bumps because they just would not slow down. And it was an unsafe situation. So I think if that's what had to be done, I think that's what should be done. I think if it's not right to have a neighborhood and have people racing through it.
One more.
After listening to that question, I would ask, wouldn't you expect that possibly the main drag was not sufficient to carry the flow, and they found the shortcut through the neighborhood and are using that? So the cure don't you agree the cure would be fix the main drag to carry the flow?
Well, I think you're totally right. I think, for instance, I live in Valencia. I don't know if you know where the 99-cent store is. I live right near there. Wiley and Lyons. It took me 45 minutes to get here tonight because the signals are not in sync at all. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. So if they would just put the signals in sync, that would help the traffic, definitely. We do need to I know some people are against the Via Princesa extension. I live right on Via Princesa and Wiley. And my neighbors didn't want that to go through this, what we did. Yes, I do have a lot of noise. I really, really do have a lot of noise at my house, but it was so worth it because look at how many more people benefit. So we need to work on getting the Via Princesa to go through and some of the other traffic problems. The other thing that I'm really, really upset about is the fact that we need more street lighting. Over there in Valencia, we've had some fatalities because we don't have enough street lighting. It's dark. And to the point where my daughter doesn't even go down Wiley anymore because it's just plain dark. She said, it's twilight, I can't see people. So she goes around. We need to work on the street lighting. We really, really do. Make it safe.
All right. I think that's going to do it. We got 1 minute and 30-some seconds.
Alrighty.
So your 3-minute summation.
I'm sorry?
Your 3-minute summation, please.
Okay, let's see. I'm sure you saw me writing like mad trying to think of this, what I want to say at the end here. And let me just find my notes if I can tell you. I think that what I said is, I want to be an elected official in this valley. I want a city council that will respect the opinions and views of the people. I want to work for you and make sure the city council represents the people, not just what the city council thinks is important, but what all the residents think is important. You are important to me. Your ideas are important to me, and it is time to have a city council that is working for you and no one else. That's who I am and how I will run your city if I'm elected. Because after all, it's your city council and it's your city. I want action, not just rhetoric year after year after year, the same thing. I want some things done that the people want. I want the traffic fixed. I want the thoroughfares, like you said. There's so many things that we need to do. We have some big, heavy issues coming up. We have the CMACs, we have the water issue, the mandate, we have so many issues. We need to have a majority of new people on that board, 3 new people that can get together, have a majority, and actually get some things passed that we want. There's some great candidates on this that are running, some wonderful candidates. You, as people, look at what you want, you judge who you think you need to have, and you vote for them. And you give us a majority, and we'll get some things done. That's what I want to see. I want to see that the city promote. I mean, I went to the city council and they told me that the senior center wasn't a city problem. Yes, it is a city problem. It's city pride. We need to care for our elders. We need to take care of them. We need to have some promotion and some really action for them. You know, we need to work for our youth. We need to solve our drug problem. We need to educate them. I worked in the schools, and we need to. One of the things I want to really promote with the schools is a career day and for college. I've told kids, you know, they tell me in my schools that they can't go to college. I said, yes, you can. I said, if you don't have any money, I can get you into COC easier almost. So I said, let me help you. We need to get the word out and educate these kids that they have a reason to go to college and a goal. And how are they going to get there? That's what I want. I want to work with the youth. I want to work with the sheriffs because we have great sheriffs and improve this city. That's what I want to do. I want to respect you. I want to listen to you. And I hope you vote for me. I'm the last name on the ballot, and that's no bull.
And speaking